Hey, Scuttlebutt listeners, welcome back and thank you again for joining us. I am, as always, I'm Vic. I'm here with Nancy,
Hi, everyone.
and we are the distinct pleasure today to be in studio with a couple of hard charging devil dogs, former uniform wearers who are now working at NASA. So I'd like to really take this time to welcome Katie Maynard and Randy Harris. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
This is, I was going to go on a total soapbox before we started recording, and I cut myself off so I could save this radio gold for when we go live.
Ooh, this is going to be good.
This is going to be huge. This is gonna be
Yeah.
I think
I'm
I've already
taking
forgotten.
notes.
I feel like I've already forgotten what I was going to say. But this is such a fascinating aspect of such a fascinating organization. For me, on the outside looking in, NASA seems like such a secret sort of like I just get these images of like the 50s of like everybody's in a tie with like a short sleeve button up. They're all sweating for some reason. And they've got, headphones on and, you need a key
Pocket
card.
protectors.
Total pocket
The
protectors.
ashtrays on the
Ashtrays,
displays. Yep.
smoke, chain smoking like
Yep.
it's cool. And you need a key card to even go to the bathroom. But there's a whole world, and it's all there for anybody who's curious to look. But I mean, there's an entire world behind the launching that is so important because you can't do the launching without. And I guess it's like most facets of society, right? Like you've got sort of the tip of the iceberg, and then you look underneath. There's this massive thing floating around. Anyways, could you guys talk to us a little bit of who you are, what your path was like to get to the Yellow Footprints, and then like what brought you to this like amazing opportunity.
Yeah.
Sure. So I grew up in a tiny little town in Upper Michigan called Hancock, Michigan, and
I've been to Hancock, Michigan.
was going to school to be a civil engineer, to work in my father's construction company. And I had all these friends from high school. Keep in mind, tiny little town, not a huge class, but the majority that joined the military all joined the Marine Corps. And they'd come home on leave, and they looked like they were having so much fun. So I got this idea that they're having so much fun, I couldn't miss out on this. I want to do it too, not knowing what they actually did every day and seeing that little glimpse of what they were doing on leave, right? So I got this idea, and I quit college and joined the Marine Corps.
That's amazing. Yeah, if everybody had an opportunity to be a libo risk with guys on boot leave, I think we'd have a lot more people joining the Marine Corps.
Exactly. It seemed like a great idea at the time.
Yeah. So I was born in New York City, New York, where we lived for quite some time. Went to Catholic school. Was a Catholic altar boy, with everything all that connotation. And my family decided to move back to North Carolina, where they were actually born. And so we moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. I think I went there the last year of junior high school, which was, my God, it's such an eye-opening experience.
Going from New York to
New York to Charlotte, North Carolina. Went to high school there, joined the ROTC program. It was Navy ROTC, but they had this master sergeant there that, trained and drill and all that type stuff. He was a pretty good guy. But I knew that college I wasn't ready for college, so I originally thought I was going to join the Air Force. And, so you got those kids that come back to the school in their uniforms.
Right.
And so guy came to the ROTC office, and so I said to him, hey, I want to talk to you about joining. And he blew me off.
Yeah.
Oh,
the Marine, the Air Force?
Air Force guy.
But of course, the
blew me
Marine
off.
was right there, wasn't he?
He was, and as soon as I walked out the
Swooped in.
he swooped right in and said, "Yeah, I think you make a good Marine." I didn't know, and so I said, "Yeah, whatever. Hey, you can go ahead and give him my name." And I think it was 2 days later, I was coming home, and there was this Marine Corps recruiting car in the driveway, and so my mom opened the door, And she looked at me. She gave me that look,
Uh-oh.
and she said, "I don't know what you've done, but there's somebody that wants to talk to you." So, I talked to him. He made it sound great, and so I signed the documents. I got her to sign. She didn't really want to, but she said she would do it for me. And after that, I went to boot camp. Started off in the Marine Corps Reserves. I think it was like 6 months after boot camp, and I got back to my unit. I realized, I need the action all the time. I can't just go, 1 week in a month. So I started the paperwork to augment, and the rest is history.
Wow. And so, Katie, I got to ask, what was the reaction from your parents to you leaving college and joining the Marine Corps?
I'll be honest, I wasn't the greatest student during that time period, and they were paying for it. So I think they were happy I was going on my way, because I probably would have been repeating that first year anyway.
Yeah.
Goes with all the people coming home on leave were having such a great time. So was I.
So were you. Yeah.
No, I think there was some hesitation, but I think, I was 18. I could do it on my own. And I think, parents always have a hesitation, especially when you're stepping out and away. But looking back now, had you not made those decisions then, you definitely wouldn't be where you are now.
Right. And Randy, what about you? You noted that your mother had some hesitation at first. How long did it take her to come around?
I honestly, I think last week. No, she, after I had been in for a while and she saw the change in me, the maturity, I think she finally came around to thinking it was a good idea.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, the graduation's usually a big one too, right? When your folks see you marching in uniform, doing all the good stuff. And then, so Katie, what MOS did you go into?
I went in open contract, so it was the height of Iraqi freedom. So I got the lovely selection the Marine Corps gave me of motor T operator.
Yeah.
It was
That
great choice. That's what the Marine Corps needed at the time. So that's what I was. Really, the second half of my 12 years, I didn't spend any time in motor T. I found ways to not have to be in it.
That's weird.
No offense to those that are in it. Wasn't my cup of tea. So I spent a lot of time either in S4 working on the logistics side or in the S3 on the ops side.
Yeah.
And planning, a lot of ops planning.
And this was, I retired a little while back, but Motor T was always the opportunity, though, for 04's officers to get that platoon commander time. So it's not all bad. I mean, it is sort of the grunt work of the logistics field, though, right? I mean,
it is. And I mean, without having the lower knowledge of how all the pieces come together, it goes, the building blocks. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't understand logistics to the way I do now, which is an aspect of what I do every single day is logistics based. So seeing it and being on the PFC level of a logistics operation and to all the way up working with an OPSO on unit planning, logistics side of it, it's the building blocks.
For sure. I mean, it's easy to say, like, hey, we need a resupply.
Right.
Really
exactly.
effing hard to make it happen.
How many little pieces and hiccups and bumps in the road and, but did you think about, occur in that chain?
Yeah. I mean, I know going out to the field for us, like, we would just schedule even hot wets in the morning just to practice it because it is not an easy thing to do. And so, I mean, even if we're doing stuff, we got to, get out to the beach. Just give those guys a grid and tell them, I need coffee and, some quote-unquote scrambled eggs, and we'll just see what happens.
Right, but it's the beauty of the base of, like, for me, logistics, even in what I do now when you're looking through a crew launch timeline. It has a lot of the same elements in it, the people, how are you getting them, your beans, bullets, and rice, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Everything is in that timeline, and it goes back to the basics of it.
And then you weren't in the fleet the whole time, though, right?
So I was, depending what you define as the fleet. So I did Okinawa, and then I did Second Marine Division for a year. I came here to Quantico and was at McCaff, the air station,
Hmm.
and then I was up at 8th and I.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to get at. So how was that?
It's a fun experience. It's
Yeah.
a fascinating duty station. I recommend it to anybody. I just got to go back there a couple days ago and take one of our astronauts, and I mean, the history, you might not see the good in it while you're there.
Well, you had a living piece of history with you. Is that correct?
I had the dog.
Yes.
So I was
Chesty.
Chesty's
Chesty.
handler. I had Chesty, which I think we should all be able to bring dogs to the office.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just phenomenal to have a dog sitting on your lap while you're typing. It's great.
Yeah, like, this is my job to do
Right.
this.
Like, he just follows me around. The barracks, the people you meet, and I try to always tell even the Marines that I interact with now and going back, like when I was just there, take advantage of it. You meet so many people, and that's where I got out of the Marine Corps from. Had I not had that stop, once again, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
It's just a different world from the, I guess, rest of the Marine Corps. And some people like it, some people don't. But I think looking back on it, there's a lot of good in it.
Did your Chesty ever get NJP'd for shitting on anything?
No.
No. Okay.
But my Chesty liked to slobber. He slobbered a lot, and he was
so
quite.
your time in the fleet with
he was
Motor
quite-
T
he was-
prepared you for this job.
He is the perfect. He was quite obese. We went.
He's out of regs.
We went through quite a few uniforms.
Wow.
But we love
Yeah,
our
he's have-
Chesty.
Yeah.
A lot of people would have loved to see him be in trouble for his weight. I mean, they're just jealous.
But you kept him. You kept
We-
him out of trouble.
I tried, but usually we get into it together.
Oh, that
That's so
okay.
great.
I mean,
That's
how
so
can
good.
you not?
And then
Yeah.
blame it on
You
Chesty.
have the Marine Corps mascot with
Yeah.
you. You know how much you can get away with?
I mean, he's a literal libo hound.
Exactly.
And Randy, what about you? Where did you end up?
I was a legal services man.
Okay.
It took them a while to get me to school out at Camp Pendleton, so I did a lot of admin work before that, and they sent me to school and saw how ill prepared I was to, working for the Office of the Staff Judge Advocate at Second Marine Division. During the time when General Gray was the Second Marine Division CG. And my thing is that the first person that I really worked for was a female Marine. And her name was Annie Marie Gray. She was a Master Gunnery Sergeant. And it was always, don't get you better not get the two of them confused.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she was awesome. And to this day, and my wife even says, you were Andy Gray trained, which meant that you better do everything by the book and correctly. And so, some of my best times under Andy Gray was, so she'd get on you for a while, she'd pick something out, and she'd just lay on you. And the greatest times was when she found somebody else.
Yeah.
Because you were all like, yes. An amazing person, and she taught me a lot. And I learned a lot at Camp Lejeune, and I learned a lot working in the for the lawyers. So
It's awesome.
So I want to. Vic is really into this Marine Corps thing, which okay, I get it. I
It's
get
weird.
it. That's the
So
point of
weird.
the podcast. And yes, I think that's pretty cool too. But I think Scuttlebutt listeners all already know that I'm a huge NASA nerd. So I want to hear about
Yeah,
your.
let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. Tell our listeners about your current job, what you do, and what that means. Because Vic talked about it a little bit in the intro, and we talked about it before we started recording. I think that the public is well aware of the astronauts and what they do. But what people might not think about is that there is a huge team of people making everything happen. And the two of you are two of those people making things happen. Katie, can you talk a little bit about your job now?
Sure. So I'm currently the chief of protocol for NASA. So I work hand in hand with the administrator and our what we call A-suite team, planning a lot of the administrator's travel, his trips, when we go out, what people we're seeing, and then also on our launching front, all of our attendance at launch and some unique functions of that, working with the crews, particularly our military crews, to make sure that they have interactions, whether it be with senior DoD leaders, or their branch of service leadership. We just had Nicole Mann launch, so we really worked hard on the Marine Corps side to make sure that in her last 24 hours on Earth, she got to check in with her Marine Corps leadership, which is a unique function of my job, and
wow.
watching
That's
their
interesting.
timelines. But like you said, it takes a whole team, so I'm still on the logistics front and a lot of strategy and planning and what makes sense, putting the puzzle pieces together of where we should go and who we should see.
So you have to liaise then with all of the different branches.
Yes. So
I mean, even all the way down to like a fit rep, say for example. Like, do you work anything like?
no, they have. So each branch of service in the astronaut office does have an actual military liaison. So they work that. But on the protocol
I see.
side, when we're talking our general officers, Secretary of Defense level, I try to arrange, a phone call so that they can check in if they can't come to see them in person in quarantine, which is they're in a little box and they wave to
Right.
us through a window.
So it's like COVID.
Right. So I try. So I create those memories not just for the astronaut, but for the officials that don't even know these things are even options for them.
And you've got some breaking Marine Corps NASA news for us today. Breaking
Yes.
on the podcast.
So breaking on the podcast,
know,
it's
this
finally
is
official this
big.
morning. So, a prior service Marine, Joe Acaba, was named to be the chief astronaut this morning. So it's out on Google. It's official now.
Wow.
He was a Marine reservist, paid for college, through the Marine Corps, went on to be a geologist, and worked in the Peace Corps, was a middle and high school science and math teacher, and applied to be an astronaut. And now here he is.
What a
I
journey.
think he's been an astronaut for about 20 years-ish, but now he's chief of the astronaut office.
So cool.
So we keep good company.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Marines at NASA. You'd be surprised. We always find each other, too. That's what I told Randy. And I'm only at NASA because of Randy. Randy was on my interview panel.
Really?
No kidding.
Okay, Randy, tell us a little bit about that. And tell us, first of all, tell us what you do.
So when I first came to NASA, I worked for the General Counsel, who was a Marine, General Officer, Staff Church Advocate to the Commandant, Michael Wally, who was also a fighter pilot and who effectively is known as the world's greatest fighter pilot. Now, the other pilots, the other astronauts and so forth, they do give him his props, and that includes folks like Charlie Bolden and Bob Cabana, but that's how he's always known, world's greatest fighter pilot.
World's greatest fighter
The
pilot.
world's greatest fighter pilot. And I moved from there to, I am now the Deputy Chief for the Enterprise Management Office for Office of Communications. And primarily what that means is I have a hand in the resources, whether it be monetary or personnel or whatever. So the best way to say it is all that cool stuff that you see, on the internet, and NASA.gov or anything else that you see on the internet, or even the launches where you see we televise. Yeah, I play some small role in making sure that we have the money and the personnel and the people to
Outstanding.
make
It's a
that
big
happen.
role.
Yeah.
Huge.
We have pay problems. I'm on Teams. Send a Randy a note. Randy, need help. So it's not a small role because, if you're not getting your paycheck, it's just like being in the Marine Corps. You're not going to exactly be happy.
Like,
No.
like space is awesome, but I need.
But I still need to get
that
paid.
cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Still not doing it for free.
Sandwich ain't delicious without that cheddar.
Yeah. And I don't want to take change the tone too much, but it would be remiss of me not to mention that the day that we're recording, we're one day after the 20th anniversary of the Columbia incident. And Randy, that's when you came on board in the post-Columbia investigation, correct?
Yes. One of the bosses that I had previously had, Colonel Keith Sefton, was now a special advisor for that Columbia accident legal team. And he said, I need you to come help put this thing together. And so I said, yeah, okay, whatever. And he said, you'll be hearing from me. And I think it was like a Friday afternoon. He calls me. He says, so you ready to come over? And I'm like, yeah, okay. When? He says, Monday. And I said,
Wow,
yeah. He says, you do realize I'm working right now, right? He said, yeah, I understand. But here's the thing. I need you Monday. So I'll see you then. I'll talk to you later. And, we kind of went from there. It was, so if it had not been for the accident mishap, I might not have ever gotten my shot at NASA. And I was able to do some pretty cool things, with the legal team and preparing senior NASA leadership to go before Congress and get grilled.
Wow.
Making sure that all of the information that was coming in was together, doing any research that they needed to do so that they were prepared. And, one thing led to another, and yeah, it kind of stuck around.
Then 20 years goes by.
And then
Yeah.
just like that.
And
It's like squatters' rights.
And,
Like,
so,
once
and
I'm
just so
sitting at the
everybody knows,
desk,
like
man.
20 years
rid
in
of 'em.
real life is in NASA years, it's like 60. So the amount of things that we do and NASA does is just unbelievable, even being part of it. So we always laugh. I'm like, really? That was only like on paper 2 years ago? I feel
Yeah.
like that was a century ago.
You think the Marine Corps prepared you guys for that? Because it's not like we
Oh.
have any dull moments, huh?
So
Yeah.
I say, and we were talking about it earlier, there are so many parallels to the Marine Corps and NASA that most people probably wouldn't ever think of. The Marine Corps completely set us up for being at NASA. You are one giant family, for better or worse. We come from all walks of life, whether you're a scientist or you were a Marine. Everybody has a different story and a different background. But just the lifestyle we talk about, when you go to the field, do you really know when you're coming home? Probably not. Same thing happens at NASA. When you go to work, you never really know when you're going home. Randy sees my travel all the time, and I'm never home. But you never know if a launch is going to launch until it launches. I mean, there's about a million factors of why it wouldn't launch. So that lifestyle, I think, for us, it's like, oh, okay. It's just another day,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
We've
yeah.
lived through this,
Yeah.
for how many years. So the parallels are just amazing to me when you actually sit down and look at them.
Yeah, I definitely think that the Marine Corps trained us to be where we are and who we are, because one thing that NASA looks for is leadership and the ability to move from one direction to another.
right.
That's basic Marine. That's Marine 101.
Yeah.
And that's, you'd be surprised how sorely they need that at NASA. And, we're just a small part of a group that's within there trying to make things happen.
But and I think that's why the Marines at NASA, all the ones that I know of have excelled. They're in higher, more prestigious positions because we get it. We get the lifestyle, the leadership. Doesn't matter really what you throw at us. Nothing phases us, right? Like we've been through
Flexible,
something
adaptable,
before.
right.
We just adapt and keep moving. Okay, so that's what we're doing today. Cool.
And you said
And you move on with it, right? So it's seeming like, our cadre of Marines that are there are actually in significant leadership roles and have an impact every day.
And you said all of you find each other somehow? Is there like a secret underground marine network?
No, you
or
just you
smoke
run into
signals?
people
Yeah,
and you
you
can
do.
see them and you watch their mannerisms and you're like, you're a Marine. Like, that was a giveaway. Or somebody will be like, were you a Marine? And you answer yes and you're like, oh, makes sense
yeah.
now.
Like, oh, I get it. Everything is all very clear to me.
It all
Right.
comes together now.
So, and Randy, you said you were on Katie's interview panel, or Katie, you said Randy.
Yeah,
was on
Randy.
Yeah.
Randy was on my interview panel, so
Mhm.
he's one of the reasons why I'm at NASA to begin with.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It was clear cut.
Nice.
It was, all I had to do was say, you want somebody who's going to do the job, not talk about the job. That's her.
Well, so there's this, Vic, you mentioned it a little bit. There's this mystique about NASA. Tell, especially with the sort of people, Katie, that you rub shoulders with, what are some of the pinch me moments that you've had?
There are so many of them. I mean, when we were reading the show notes, I'm like, oh, we could be here all day. They happen all the time. And, you're kind of in the moment. Sometimes you're going through, you're tired, you haven't slept in a couple days, but sometimes you stand and take it in. I was texting with Joe Acaba this morning once the news was finally public. We had inklings of who it was going to
Right.
be, but I was texting with the chief astronaut this morning while he's watching Nicole Mann spacewalk.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
A chain of Marines right
right,
there. That's incredible.
or I watched Charlie Bolden, our beloved Charlie B, watch Bob and Doug's launch for SpaceX Demo 2, first humans on a commercial rocket. And he was in tears watching it. At height of COVID, didn't even know if we were going to be able to have people there, but that was his program, that was his dream. And you have a Marine riding on the rocket, right?
Right. And he's
and
an amazing guy, isn't he?
Charlie is the best. And then you have, just the astronaut moments, or you see Buzz, and then just some of the activities. I would have never thought I would be standing out on a launch pad touching a rocket.
Yeah.
Or sitting in astronaut crew quarters where, they're getting ready to do briefings. Sometimes I think with the Marine Corps, and I think as people get out, they realize moments were much better than they actually seemed. And even though you
Right.
were, working around the clock, but to take a breath and to know that you're a part of it's just amazing.
It's so cool that you guys still have that sense of wonder and excitement. Because it seems like it would be easy to get callous by there's another rocket going into space.
I mean,
That's
sweet.
just you, Vic. That's
so
just you.
Maybe
no,
it is just me.
everybody's like, how many have you seen? I'm like, yeah, it's still pretty cool.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
you start and you get to know the teams, right? And you touched on it. It's a huge team. These are our family that we are with around the clock. So whether you're the astronaut that's going up and you watch them get suited up and you worked on maybe getting them their time with their military leaders or whatnot, or down to the launching team, these are people that we talk to every day. You hear them on the phone with their families and their kids, and just like the Marine Corps, we become one big dysfunctional family.
Right.
Yes.
There's still the
Indeed.
infighting, there's still the personalities and the tempers.
The drinking.
Just maybe some of that. But it's just remarkable to be part of that family. And I think when Marines get out, a lot of them miss that family element. And we definitely have that where we work. And I think that's a testament to why people, when they get to NASA, end up there for 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
It's so important to be to understand that you're part of something bigger. I think that really appeals. That's where you get that job satisfaction, is understanding that you're a part of something much bigger than you are.
Because it's
And-
not about you.
right.
It's not about you at all. And that's, from day one, in the Marine Corps, they remind you it is not about you, right?
Yeah.
So, it's drilled into us, but
It's the
the
whole
same
thing about boot camp.
the same thing at NASA.
Who is I?
It's the same thing, and that's, I think, part of why the Marines at NASA are so successful, because you can't go to space without a team. It's just impossible.
Mm-hmm.
And what about you, Randy? What are some of your pinch me moments?
some of my pinch me moments were initially with the Columbia accident and getting involved with that and talking to the different people and you know um, like the people that were at Johnson who were monitoring it
Right.
and had that deep personal heartbreak, and
Right.
so they would come in and we'd sit down with them to get them prepared because they had to go to the hill as well to talk.
Sure.
And just getting to know them and maybe consoling a little bit and telling them it's okay, you did what you were supposed to do.
Right.
And so that was what was important to me. Other than that, pinch me moments, dealing with dealing with Buzz.
Buzz, I'm telling you, Buzz is a national treasure.
Yes, he is.
Well, and I think it speaks highly of NASA, Randy, your experience coming on board right after such a huge tragic event. But you're still here 20 years later, that it's such a great organization that in spite of that, you're still there and really loving your job.
Hmm. I definitely love my job. Every day, every day is a holiday. Every meal is a feast.
Yeah, every paycheck is a
You win the lottery
That's
every
right,
day.
Every day.
Every day. I mean, I think it all comes back to the people. Like we were talking about earlier, you find those unique people in the Marine Corps that you have shared memories with, whether it be shared suffering
Yeah.
or shared victory,
Well,
right?
and
But
that's-
that makes you stronger.
And that's one of the things I want to touch on. You think that, like, because every aspect of this team, and again, like, it's so easy to focus on the astronauts, but every member of this team is quite literally on the razor's edge of death. Because, I mean, as we've seen, talking about the accident, like, it's not even a misstep. It's just it's just baked into the calculus of what it is that you do, what it is that Marines do, and so it is obviously that shared suffering, but it's also that sort of thing that, like, you're playing Red Rover with with the Grim Reaper,
Right.
every day, because you just never know. Like you cannot guarantee 100% that this thing is always going to go off, and when it does, it's a blessing. And when it doesn't, it's tragic, but that's also part of what it is that you guys do.
It's part of it. It's part
Yeah.
of what we do. Just like in the Marine Corps, when you're going in, somewhere overseas, do you really know how it's going to work out?
Yeah.
No. Every time we launch people on a rocket, we hope it works. We have great data. We have everything. We do all the safety checks, and from the lessons learned from our accidents, that's a big part of our history. But do you truly know? I mean, was there a little bit of condensation on one O-ring?
Yeah.
Right.
That's the margin of error that you're dealing with.
So yeah, I mean,
And the fact that the astronauts put, whether it's in the engineers or the techs out doing the building, or even us, that we're not wasting their valuable time, right? These are when we're in a launch, those are their last minutes on Earth.
yeah, yeah.
They are aware of what could happen. And for them to give up their time for us to take them to do something is just remarkable.
Yeah.
And then, so what about for you guys then? Was NASA just like the thing that you aspired to? Was there like sort of a time between when you got your DD-214 and then when you like, what was that process like for you guys?
So I can't say it was something I always aspired to. I can say when I was growing up watching the launches,
right.
like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you so I had that mindset too that you gotta be an astronaut, and so to be an astronaut you really should be a pilot. And of course when I went to enlist in the Marine Corps, and they give you that little test with the tiles, and they ask you what was the number in there, like, yeah, I failed miserably.
Yeah.
So I knew right then I couldn't fly. So it was one of those things that kind of felt off the radar.
Mhm.
And luckily, a person that I had worked with in the SJA's office became a special advisor, and he thought that I had exactly what he needed because when he interviewed me for the job, he said, "So I'm not going to sit here and tell you, you're going to be doing X, Y, and Z. What I need from you is to do the same thing that I expect from you as a Marine. That is to go out, to meet with the different folks, to make yourself valuable throughout the agency. And if I need something, then I'm going to come to you and I'm going to say, go talk to so and so. I need something." And that was my job. And so, I kind of went in through the back door, but I love it. I love it. There's nothing like it.
I would have never thought I would ever end up here. I mean, I knew there was a space shuttle.
Yeah.
That's about my extent of my knowledge
Got a little
of
catching up to do.
NASA.
There's
mean-
like a robot on Mars or something. I don't
Had
know.
no idea of that. I mean, now we fly a helicopter on Mars. Yeah, I knew there was a shuttle. There were such things as astronauts.
Sure.
But never would have thought about working there. One, and I think it's trying to think how to say it, uncommon that people realize. They just think of the engineers, they think of the pilots. NASA has every single job that you could ever think of, whether it's an electrician, veterinarians, food service
Give us
people.
a chef.
Like there's every single job available. So I don't think that thought of possibly being at NASA ever crossed my mind because I'm not one of those people, right? So I got out. I had 2 protocol jobs within DoD. I was really tired of the same ceremonies every single year, as great as they are. They're just so much fun. And there was a job on USA Jobs, and I was talking to one of my mentors, and they're like, apply. What's the worst thing that could happen? You go and you come back, right? If you even get the job, you go and you come back if you don't like it. And I went, and now I'm here.
Nice.
That's great. That's great. Well, along those lines of there being every kind of job available in NASA, so what advice do the two of you have for young Marines? Because like you've both talked about and we talked about before, not everyone is going to be an astronaut. Not everyone wants to be an astronaut. Frankly, you could not pay me enough to go into space. No, thank you. I'm happy to watch it. I'm happy to cheer from the ground and
It's a great
support it.
idea until
You actually have to do it.
sit
Yeah.
through math class is like, I'm out. Like,
Yeah,
It's
no,
not as glamorous as they make it seem.
Yeah.
I think don't sell yourself short if it's any inclination of still wanting to feel that family environment, working for something that's so much bigger than yourself. It's the right place for you. And no matter what your skill set is, don't just think, oh, really, that's NASA. No, I'm just a Marine. More often than not, the right person for the job is a Marine.
And I can't imagine, and this is how little I know, you don't have to move to Florida to work at NASA, right?
No. You can work
Ooh.
anywhere. We're here in Northern Virginia and D.C. We have 10 centers across the country, but, the blessing of COVID was there's a lot of remote work. I work remotely. I don't go to the office anymore, so if I'm not on travel, I'm at home. Our team is across the country, so nobody's ever all in the same room. You don't have a meeting and everybody's actually there.
Right.
So you have
Wow,
your
okay.
people from Houston, you have your people down at Kennedy Space Center or our California centers. We have Northern California centers. We have Ohio. So it's really across the country.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
I agree with what Katie said. Don't sell yourself short. And I will also add that you've already got a skill by virtue of stepping on those yellow footprints at Paris Island, San Diego, or dragging your sea bag across that long parade deck down in OCS, which I've seen happen too. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
something else.
The sea bag drag.
Drag. You have the skills. You do. You have what people looking for, and even if it's not with NASA, people looking for it out there in D.C., in the federal government. They need somebody who can lead. They need somebody who can follow.
Right.
They need somebody who can make a turn and pivot on a dime. They need somebody who can take what little bit you give them and they can expound upon it and they can do what they need to do. They need you. So all you Marines out there, they need you. Out in the federal government, they need you.
That, and it's not just an officer and enlisted thing. I mean, Randy and I are sitting here both as enlisted Marines. So I know some of the stigma around it is, oh, I'm not an officer.
Yeah.
Neither was I.
Yeah.
Neither was Randy. Did I go to college after the fact? Yes, I did go to college, use tuition assistance, use the resources that you have available to you while you're in. But just because you're not an officer does not mean you can't do it.
That's good inspiration and good information. Yeah, good stuff.
It's really great. Yeah, I just think of this whole idea of like finding that community, and it's so great that just as we look at sort of the one thing as you're looking at vets transitioning out is that lack of community or that lack of purpose, like you were mentioning, Nancy.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's led to so many other things. Part of our mental health crisis, especially for veterans, is that sense of loneliness and lack of purpose when you come out. Can you guys talk about is working at what seems to be like a juggernaut that is NASA? It seems, I guess, from the outside looking in, it would be so easy to get lost sort of in the machine. But you guys have seemed to coalesce. Is that
we're close?
Yeah,
I think
but is
we
that
spent
because you guys are that way, or is it the institution is really sort of bringing everybody in?
I think it's a bit of both.
Okay.
I think the individuals wholeheartedly, you believe in what you're doing. You wouldn't, hands down, you would not work there if you did not believe in what you're doing. Because a lot like the Marine Corps, you don't stay in it for, especially the people that stay in it to retire, unless you had, you loved what you were doing.
Right.
So you all have that purpose towards the mission. So you love what you're doing, and everybody has that same level of drive. Everybody shows up at 100 every single day because they want to do their best because everybody counts on your piece. And you just become close when you spend that much time with anybody. You become close. And then I think with COVID too, when we went to remote work, you're inviting people into your home.
Yeah.
They see your kids on, your cameras and whatnot. Everybody sees your family, but you spend so much time. They see you on the phone with your kids, and all those aspects. Like my supervisor last night, I was sending her a video of my son's first wrestling match.
Oh,
like you
nice.
have those elements. Just like that we're in the Marine Corps where you're sitting around shooting the shit with your unit.
Totally. Their families.
Right. Their family.
Their kids play with your kids sort of thing.
Right. Like we're all in this together, just like everybody, the Marine Corps was an entire family within your family, right? Like everybody's part of it. And I think that's what you get at NASA as well, is it is a family endeavor.
That's so cool.
And the people that stick with for the people that stick with it, I think there are some people that leave that don't like it. But for the people that stay, I think that's one of the major reasons. Like we all laugh about the NASA kids when the NASA kids grow up and when they graduate.
Yeah.
The NASA babies.
Oh wow! And first wrestling match. I remember my son's first wrestling match. How was that for you watching?
I was good. He is quite athletic and a pretty good soccer player, so he wanted to do this in his spare time because he's only playing soccer 4 days a week right now.
I will say the more aggressive side of me came out when I was watching my son on the mat. Like, come on, hit him!
Well, I was told I wasn't allowed to cheer because I'm an embarrassment, so I tried to behave, and he's like, it's even worse than soccer because you really don't know the rules.
What about, so for people who are transitioning that are interested in it, is there like does the NASA website have a current job openings? You mentioned USA Jobs is sort of how you found it. You've networking, word of mouth. I guess all of the above. Like,
I think everything is on USA Jobs. Everything that's posted that we have currently open is on USA Jobs. But I mean, and we put all of our information on nasa.gov. If you have a certain field that you're particularly interested in, you'll see people's names. I recommend look them up on LinkedIn. You'll find them, send them a message. I think that's one of the greatest things about NASA is we enjoy sharing it with other people. So I think any person that you pick, if you look them up, they would be more than happy to help and get you in the right
Oh, wow.
direction.
oh, cool.
I will also say that for you Marines who are about to hit that plateau of either retiring or, you've had enough, I will tell you to take a hard look at your resumes. I know transition assistance will help you try to convert that lingo, and you really need to focus on it because, I've seen resumes where, people revert back to something that's military specific, and that's kind of what takes them out of the loop for it. So you have to craft your resume where it can be understood by, those non-Marine Corps folks out there, and just saying that. Take a hard look. Spend some time on your resumes, and it'll really help you out.
Yeah, because I can't imagine that. I mean, for NASA, it's probably a lot of flow going into there from resumes. So, yeah, no, that's really
most
good.
of them. I mean, the job postings, they get a lot of response.
Yeah.
But I think your resume highlight the leadership, highlight what makes us us, because I mean, it's been proven. If I can do it, anybody can do it. So trust me that anybody can do this. But it is, sometimes luck of the draw. But
Right place, right time.
find a mentor. Go on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
Search.
LinkedIn, that's a good one.
Search. Find somebody that worked at NASA that is a Marine, maybe in that field or has that background. And I have never met a person that I work with at NASA, really in the Marine Corps, that's not willing to lend a hand to help somebody else. We've all been through the transition process. We all know it's not easy. It's not fun.
Right.
And I think most of us all have the opinion of if we could make it a little bit easier for somebody else, we would.
Fantastic.
Well, one of the things as we kind of wrap it up, the way we like to close our show is tell us what your best day in the Marine Corps was. Who wants to go first?
Oh,
Randy,
she's
you're
pointing
elected.
at me.
I'm thinking.
So it's kind of a toss-up between the day I graduated from Paris Island, because honestly, I didn't know I had it in me. It's one of those things where, you go there and you're full of fire and vinegar and yeah, your drill instructors kind of knock that out of you, and so everybody. There are times, and don't believe them if they tell you that when they were in boot camp that they never thought about, oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to make it. There are times when you aren't sure that was the right career choice or that you're going to make it.
What the hell did I just do?
What did I just do?
Why did I choose this?
But yeah, so that was an important day for me, and I guess it's 1 and 1A. 1A would be when I graduated from DI school, because that was another one of those, I don't know if I can do this. This is just crazy. But you just keep your nose to the grindstone and you keep working. And so those are 2 dates that just stand out in my mind.
Nice.
Great days.
I like that first day one. I would try to steal that, but I'm actually going to flip it and say my last day in the Marine Corps. And it's not because I necessarily wanted to get out,
Right.
but you could look back, and for me, it was on 12 years of all the memories and all the friendships, knowing you gave it what you had with a smile, right? And that cherished time that I was able to be part of. And had I not had that last day, I wouldn't have had a first day at NASA.
Good.
because I said at my retirement, I retired up at Lejeune Hall up here, and I said specifically that it's so the reward is not in the end. The reward is the journey that you take to get there. This is just a culmination. So everything that you've done, every single Marine that you've touched, that you've mentored, that's the reward right there. And it's the journey itself. It's not that last day when I'm like, man, you see the back of my car.
That's right.
I'm
It's
out
like
of here.
it's like one chapter closed, another chapter open, but they were all necessary chapters.
Yes.
Huge sense of accomplishment too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
When you completed your career as well. Vic, have you got anything else?
No, this has been so great. I mean, I sit here and just nerd out on like everything, but I mean, as far as like you guys being so generous with your time, like I really appreciate you coming in. This has been really great. You know, because I mean, I think we sort of dabbled on it, but I mean, it's not like things just stop. It's not like after a mission, NASA's like, nailed it. You know, like
No, you already have 10 more in the
Yeah,
pipe.
there's
Like, oh, we launched this day. Oh, well, in 12 hours we're launching from the other coast.
yeah, it's like
Yay!
Oh,
all
we're
right,
flying
get back
the
to work, people.
Right, flying the helicopter on Mars in a couple weeks. Yeah, there you go.
Well, and actually, what is next? What's coming up next for both of you? What's
My
on
next
the radar?
big
literally.
ticket for me, SpaceX Crew 6 launch. It'll be end of February. So we have that. We have Nicole Mann's return from space station beginning of March.
Okay.
Kind of dependent on the Crew 6 launch.
Yeah.
So we'll see
Right,
how they
right.
shake out. Those are really my two biggest ones that I have on the radar. And I'm trying to think science-wise. Last year was a big year for science. I think our science has slowed down a little bit this year because most of the spacecraft have to travel to where they're going, and that takes some time. But the Boeing launch will be coming up, so we'll finally, I think, be seeing humans ride on the Boeing spacecraft, which has been a long time, and a lot of hiccups and a lot of
Starliner.
troubles and lessons learned there.
Gravity, am I right?
I've heard gravity sucks. I mean, I wouldn't know any different, but
It definitely pulls.
It's heavy.
well,
Yeah.
and the Artemis 2 crew announcement,
Artemis
that
2
one,
crew.
you know, the next generation of explorers to go to the moon will be announced this spring.
That's
Well,
exciting.
I mean, there are lots of reasons to get you guys back on the show.
yeah.
This is
Anytime.
exciting stuff. Yeah, this would be cool.
Absolutely, anytime.
Great. Well, thank you both so much for your time. Really appreciate it, and
Thank you.
Thank
looking
you.
forward to seeing what's coming, and looking forward to having you back.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
Scuttlebutt is a production of the Marine Corps Association. I am William Truding, but you've also heard the voices or contributions of Vic Rubel, USMC retired, Nancy Lichman, or Ty Frazier. The opinions expressed in this episode do not reflect the official stance of the Marine Corps, DoD, or Marine Corps Association.